Hey there folks, this is GreenyXI, welcoming you right back to Let's Play Higurashi. This is episode 50, and last episode there was that really nice scene with Rika, Satoko and Kaiichi, where they all did a bit of cooking, or Satoko did really, and it was just really heartwarming and everything. And we found out that there's a new character in this arc called Satoshi, Satoko's brother who ran away a long time ago, like a year I think it was. Let's get going. I'll see what happens next. I want to see if they still do the little competition. Cooking competition. Oh, we haven't seen you in a while. Okay. Anyway, lunchtime has finally arrived. Mion gleefully announced the beginning of lunch. She did indeed. Oh, lunchtime at last. Someone here will have to play the punishment game, yeah? Yeah. Oh. The punishment this time is a little scary, so... Oh, poor Kaiichi. Sorry, but Rena went all out on making her bento. In Rena's case, I don't think she'd lose, even if she wasn't taking it seriously. No. Good cook. Meep. We tried our hardest too. Satoko and Rika-chan made separate lunches today. Usually you have the same bento, but that won't do for the showdown today, will it? No. It's a competition. Yes. It's quite alright. Rika and I made sure to make separate ones. Wow, Satoko-chan and Rika-chan both tried really hard. How exciting. Yeah. What's a little surprising is that Kai-chan was able to make a bento. Good job, Kai-chan. It looks like you really can do it if you try. I scratched my head and gave her a dry smile. My bento today has been made entirely by Satoko last night. Oh, okay. It had none of my personality. So there wasn't anything there that they could praise me for. Do they all know that? What does Kaiichi-kun's bento look like? Oh, I can't wait to see. Don't expect too much. It's just the leftover rice and side dishes from last night. Leftovers are the foundation of bentos. Are they? Okay. Oh, now we'll know your dinner last night too. We'll kill two birds with one stone. Ah, they're hiding it as if they didn't help us. That's nice of them. Was it really better to hide the fact that Satoko came over and made dinner last night? Well, of course it was. If I revealed that I didn't make my own bento, I'd be sure to end up playing the punishment game. Today's punishment game was to stand right in front of the curry maniac Chie-sensei and say bad things about curry. Oh yeah, they said about that, didn't they? It wasn't too different from telling someone to jump out of a 100-story window. It's exactly the same as telling someone to die. Oh god. But Mi-chan, how will we decide who wins and loses the bento showdown? Kaiichi-kun made his own too, so maybe we should call it a draw for today? Huh? We could do that. The punishment game yesterday was sort of a whip to encourage Kaiichi-san to cook for himself after all. And Kaiichi made his own too, so it's a draw. Oh. My simple bento with last night's leftovers could never have stood up to everyone else's bento that they made to win. I fully understood Satoko and Rika-chan's concern for me as they tried to end the showdown peaceably. Peacefully? However, the club president Mion Sanozaki would not be convinced by something like that. I wonder why you're all so optimistic. Leaving one of our showdowns in such a grey area is out of the question. Now that we've clashed, we must settle the score. Reconciling with the draw only happens in the Yakuza world. I knew you'd say that. There's no way you'd end it that way, with your battle lust. This was bad. At this rate, I was sure to be the sole loser. But well, I didn't make this bento after all. Maybe I need to resign myself to my inevitable loss. He deserves it, really. Okay, me. How are we gonna decide who wins? It won't be fair if we grade each other's. Let's do an open judgment. Okay, everyone. Assemble! Mion commanded everyone, who had just started eating, using her club president voice. Oh, getting the rest of the class involved. Come and judge our 5 bento. Write your favourite 3 on a piece of paper and submit it. Understand? Everyone in the class was used to being dragged into Mion's club activities. Yeah! Came the energetic voices from here and there. Everyone already knew that the showdown this time involved an utterly fatal punishment game. And they were all very interested in what would happen to whoever lost. Of course, they wanted the thrill of seeing something terrifying. Okay, everyone ready? Then I'll go first, alright? Ta-da! In exaggerated fashion, Mion pulled the lid off her multi-tiered, ornate bento box. Multi-tiered, oh my god. Is it a giant cake or something? Multiple cheers of joy erupted at the brilliant sight. That's amazing! It's just like New Year's food. It can't be. It has to be a lie. She must have switched the contents with a catered bento. Such purely Japanese cooking. Mion Sansaki couldn't possibly make this. No wonder Mion was so adamant to actually go through with the competition. Nope, this is easy for Mi-chan if she gets serious. She almost never gets serious though. No? Just who do you think this old man is? Given enough time and ingredients, I could even reproduce the Manchu Han Imperial Feast. The entire classroom gulped audibly. And everyone wrote down a score on the notepaper in their hands simultaneously. It made sense. Just the visual impact would give her a perfect score. Yeah, I'd say so. Alright, let's see Rena's next. Rena's really good at cooking too. Rena's bento is always like a flower arrangement. Thanks everyone. I'll reveal my bento now. Aye. God, I bet it's amazing. Rena's bento was a beautiful mix of 2 colours of eggs and minced meat, and it too was a bento staple. The Saburo bento. No idea. She had been through with the side dishes as well, and they were abundant in number. Thorough. She had spent more time than usual on it, but it was unassuming and truly nonchalant. One couldn't ignore the household warmth in it that Mion's bento lacked. Oh. If I may say, you've done it again. This should get quite a high score. I bet it will. I should have known. It may look rigid, but there isn't anything to deduct points from. Amazing as always. Once again, every one of the judges wrote a score on their notepaper at the same time. There seemed to be some who were revising their opinions when they compared it to Mion's score too. Oh god, they're lowering her score. The whole classroom seemed split between Mion and Rena, both amazing. And on everyone's face it was clear that they all wanted to be tasting them rather than scoring them. That's quite cruel. Then we'll be next. Come on then. Yes, I will now reveal mine. Come to think of it, Sadako and Rika-chan ate with me last night at my house. It was impressive that they still made a bento. It was pretty impressive actually. Both the bentos were clearly lacking compared to Mion's artfulness and Rena's perfection. However, because of that you could sense from them how hard they worked. The toppings were a little on the rough side, but you could still feel that they tried their hardest. Ah, it's all about the effort. It made you feel a little biased, so that you'd give them more points. A few people struck by just that once again revised their opinions. What? A few people struck by just that, once again revised their opinions and wrote in scores on their notepaper. Sadako, Rika-chan, you both made really good bentos today. They might not measure up to Rena or Mion's craftsmanship, but when you think about that, they're pretty amazing. Sadako and Rika-chan glanced at each other and grinned happily. Oh god, here we go, time for Keiichi. This is a secret, okay? Mudda. What? When Sadako told me, I broke off from the others and secretly looked for my classmates' bento boxes. They, Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun's bento boxes. I took a quick peek inside and... half the contents were missing. They nicked them! The little... gits. Not bad. In the end, Sadako and Rika-chan hadn't made bento today. A bold move. They got Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun to share their bentos with them. Hey, Tomita-kun, Okamura-kun, how did they buy you out? What are you saying, my Bao-san? When did we get bought out and for what? That's right. It's not like we traded them our dirty water in the garden for half our bentos. No, not all. Curse you, Sadako. What an impudent trick. Sadako grinned, showing her fang-like canines, and laughed in triumph. Oh, this is only something I learned from you, Keiichi-san. Oh. Yes. How naive, buying them out with water and duty alone. They're men. If you're going to buy them out, you need to use something a lot spicier than that. For example, like giving them 3 tickets to walk Sadako and Rika-chan around like dogs all day, with them on all fours wearing tails and with leashes around their necks. What the hell is this game all going on about? Whoa, that might be enough to get me to do anything. That's so perverted. As I was lost in my wild fantasies, Mion clapped me on the shoulder and called me back to reality. Damn, it's just getting good. Okay, here we go. Alright, next up is Kai-chan's bento. We're all hoping for something pretty great because of your declaration yesterday, but how did it really turn out? Uh-oh. Keiichi-kun can do it if he needs to. Rena was really excited for today. Today! Ugh, they're all looking forward to it. But it's really just leftovers from dinner last night. I didn't even make it either. How's that supposed to stand up to Mion and Rena and the others? That's it. Feast your eyes on this. I tore the lid off my bento box. There weren't very many cheers. Well, I guess there wouldn't be. Ichi-kun, you tried your hardest too. Rena can tell how hard you worked. Yeah, he tried so hard. Rena, don't feel like you need to compliment me. How did this happen? Was Keiichi-san actually a hard worker after all? Well, I mean, I want to acknowledge how hard you tried, but for this showdown, it doesn't matter. Mion's cold, mean laugh. It was like it spoke for everyone's opinion just like that. Keiichi-kun did really well considering it was his first challenge, you know. I think maybe everyone should rate his a little higher. Oh god, this is embarrassing. But for the showdown, it doesn't matter. Alright, Kai-chan. If you have any last words before we tally up the results, I'll listen to them now. What do you mean by last words? I mean, that you might be hoping for a few extra points if you appeal somehow to the crowd. Uh-huh. After all, for today's showdown, you just need to avoid coming in last. If you do well enough, then maybe you'll be able to worm out to the punishment game. Oh. You're implying that Keiichi-san's bento is going to take last place, aren't you? No, this old man wasn't trying to say anyone's bento came in last or anything. No! Mion cackled repulsively. In contrast, Sadako's smile was growing somehow awkward. Alright. This bento was filled with last night's side dishes. That means it was basically a bento that Sadako made. And Mion outright said it would come in last place. Ah, insulting Sadako without even knowing it. Mi-chan, aren't you being a little mean? Poor Keiichi-kun. Rena, Kai-chan knew he couldn't lose today's bento showdown beforehand, didn't he? He did all that grandstanding yesterday, well aware of that. I don't think there's any reason to go easy on him, do you? Right, Sadako? Yes, you're right. And he came here with this mess. It makes me laugh. Wait, Sadako-chan, you can't laugh at him. But that bento is just so ridiculous I can't help but laugh. These side dishes look like they were bought from a shop. It's really delusioning. Look, this one was just taken out of a can, wasn't it? This cucumber here isn't cut cleanly, like the knife didn't go all the way through. Kai-chan, you never used a knife, did you? Your lack of experience is apparent. No, this goes beyond a simple lack of experience. The presentation is fairly monotonous as well. It's almost a shock to see such a lack of taste. God, they gonna stop taking the piss or what? It was my first experience putting food into a bento box, so of course it's not gonna look too good. Kai-chan, there's a bigger problem than how you put it in the box. Tomita, Okamura, explain please. Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun were chosen from our many underclassmen. Tomita-kun quickly adjusted his glasses and took a step forward. The fatal flaw in Mayabara-san's bento. It's the coloration. As you know, there are 3 primary colours forming the basis of all colours. So if you want a well-balanced colour scheme, then excluding white and black, you need those 3 colours. Okay. And nevertheless, if you remove the white and black from Mayabara-san's bento, all that will be left is dark green. Ah, dark green. No one will want to eat you. Well, no one will want to eat it, if you describe it like that. I had forgotten. Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun had been bought out by Rika-chan and Sadako, so they were trying their hardest to let them win and make me lose, weren't they? Yeah, what strong wills they have. It was charming if only because they were working so hard despite having been bought out. The side dishes have no spirit in them either, they're all pre-packaged or canned food. In other words, out of the 3 necessary requirements for bento, love, spirit and taste, we can assert that Mayabara-san's bento is lacking 2 of these. It's got love. Maybe taste. The classroom, convinced by the elucidation of the mystery they were thoroughly baffled with, raised mysterious groans of admiration. No heart and no spirit. It's decided then. It's got heart. Mayabara. This may sound cold, but if you realised how much fun cooking is because of all this, Keiichi-kun, isn't that enough? Enough? In any case, everything is fine as long as I'm not doing the punishment game. Rena was given a dry smile as well. It's been settled, Kaiichi-san. You're going to be the one doing the punishment game. Oh, she laughed in such a vile manner, but she didn't look like she meant it. I knew that Satoko was speaking ill of a bento that she practically made herself in front of the whole classroom, and I could tell how painful that laughter was. Okamura-kun said that before that this bento lacked spirit, but among all the bento laid out here today, there isn't a single one with as much spirit as this one. This meal that she made for me yesterday in such a good mood, though it looked like she was in a bad one, I won't let it end with this slander. Well then, last place, Kaiichi-san. Please admit your honest defeat already. Could you wait just a moment? When I began to speak in a low voice, the expressions of all the members of the club changed. Mion clicked her tongue. This man was baring his fangs at the last moment again. My bento was defeated because it lacked spirit. That's how you explained it. Am I wrong, Okamura-kun? Okamura-kun, who had suddenly been placed in the spotlight, looked flustered for a moment, but immediately he stammered in reply that I was right. How do you measure spirit? By difficulty? You use a spirit level, obviously. By effort? By sweat or tears? By its manifestation? Then how would you rate these burns that are still on my hands? 10 out of 10. Wow, Kaiichi-kun, those are oil burns. Great. The burn marks from when I almost caused a fire yesterday looked just like I was having a ton of trouble cooking. I could clearly tell that the classroom was forced to acknowledge the effort I put into it. I see. To turn your failures at cooking due to lack of skill into scars of hard work instead. As I thought, I cannot falter around this man. That's right. I lack skill. I'm so bad at cooking, my grandstanding yesterday was pitiful. But I didn't run away. I fought, and I delivered these results. Is that not spirit? What do you think? Rena wants to acknowledge it. Nobody can keep on going if their defiant spirit doesn't get valued. The girls in the class started to nod in agreement. Okay, the tables are turning. But Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun, brought out by the objects of their unrequited affection, weren't about to lose either. They shifted to the counter-attack, clearly exceeding the price they were paid. I see. I understand your feelings, my Bao-san. However, if spirit was all that mattered in cooking, the world wouldn't need chefs. That's right. If a chef brought you burnt steak and they said they put their spirit into it and tried hard, would you pay them? God no. You wouldn't, would you? It's the same thing. It's like, when I was on holidays once, I had this Spanish pizza. They're amazing, by the way, if you ever get a chance to try one. And it came out a tiny bit burnt, and the chef was like, Shit, no, I'll give you another one, have that one for free. Oh my god. That's right, that's how it goes. The male students took Tomita and Okamura's side. Gah, they did have a point. What about consideration? Even if you did get a totally black steak, if I knew how much the mother who made it struggled, I would eat it. I would eat it all. Yeah, that's a fair point to give as well. This time, the female students in the class took my side. Good. Now we're even. Besides, a bento is a refinement of one's love given form. It only means something when the other person feels that way. Does your bento make us feel that way, my Bao-san? No, it doesn't make me feel that way. You're mean! The girls in the class began to boo loudly at his remark. Now even Okamura-san was panicking. Order! Will the spectators please refrain from making remarks? Your Honor! In order to prove how much of my spirit has gone into this bento, I call Miss Ryugu Rena, an authority in the culinary arts, to the stand. When did it turn into this? But Rena thinks this bento has spirit in it. It might be rather artless in places. But I think cooking isn't just about outward appearances. The girls in the class again give cries of support as they all applauded. In response, all the men in the class began to boo. Oh god, splitting the class right down the middle. Your Honor, the opinions of Maebawa-san and Ryugu-san are extremely sentimental and aren't in following with common sense. They're unsuitable to use as evidence. Order! The prosecution's objection is sustained. Go ahead. Let's replace the bento in question with a birthday present, for example. Let's say, on my birthday, I, Tomita, received a hand-knitted sweater, and he, Okamura, received a bookstore gift certificate for 10,000 yen. That felt strangely real. Was it actually just an example? It did happen. Common sense dictates which of them has the spirit. It is, of course, the hand-knitted sweater. If we went back to the bento, this would be handmade side dishes. And the gift certificate, which is nothing more than money, allows you to buy things. In other words, it's the same as simple, meaningless, canned goods. Oh. The boys and girls all began to argue amongst themselves about presents. They were all talking about what they received as presents in the past. Damn! Tomita-kun, he changed the subject to something that could easily grab everyone's attention. Not bad. I'll lose the initiative at this rate. Kichi's got everyone against him except for the girls. Objection! This matter regards the spirit put into the bento. It's entirely different from birthday presents, as they are each unique situations. Overruled. Will the prosecution please continue? Of course she's going to overrule it. The damn! Now then, what's important here is the fact that the spirit of the giver and spirit of the receiver are totally different. Between the handmade sweater that looks a little bit askew and the 10,000 yen bookstore gift certificate placed here before your very eyes, which would you say is the better choice? I'd prefer the gift store. So. The gift certificate, right? Is 10,000 yen. 10,000! Can you calculate how many comic books you could buy with that? You could instantly complete a full collection if it was around 10 volumes long. Dozens of happy, humorous, slightly perverted manga. The bliss of your soothed heart can't be compared to the sweater. The boys unanimously praised that with applause. Materialistic brats. But all guys that age are like that. Even I would choose the gift certificate over the sweater in that case. Wait, weren't you guys the ones who said it was about love, spirit and taste right at the start? And now they're switching to like materialistic crap. Since when did taste trump all? That's the stance we're taking now. I believe this has demonstrated that the spirit of the giver and the spirit of the receiver have no causal relationship. Causal. Yes. No matter how much my Bao-san struggled to make this bento, that cannot enter into consideration for the rest of us on the receiving end. Mere sophistry, I don't know what that means. Tomita-kun, it has plenty of spirit. Whether that gets through or not is the receiver's problem. That's right! Boo! Taste is more important. Enemy of women. What was that, ugly? God's getting nasty. Now the courtroom is in chaos, but I can't allow myself to lose. And not only to avoid the punishment game, but also to protect Sadako's honor. Now then, do the defendants have a response to give? Slowly and strongly, I nod and step up to the dais. Tomita-kun, Okamura-kun, do you two really think you can beat me with mere words? The prosecution just said that we should value the gift without basing it on the spirit of the giver. Correct? At some point I began speaking formally. Yes, that's right. No matter how much you labour to make that bento, that labour should not factor into our grading. Then I have a question for the prosecution. If I, Maibara, were to take the bento I made for today and place it beside one bought from the store, would both of those be given the same score? The prosecution hesitated to speak. Got you. That's right. A convenience store bento doesn't even come close to a homemade one. No matter how badly made it is, it has far more spirit than a bento that you have just bought would ever have. You see, that spirit is being graded, meaning the spirit the cook put into the bento has already reached the recipients. Admit it. Oh, how's this gonna go down? Boom! Splash. With those impactful words drawn in the air behind me, I pointed my finger. The girls, led by Rena, broke into applause. Some of the boys were admitting it too. I'll admit it. You admitted it? You admitted it, right? Then let's move to why a convenience store bento has no spirit in it. What exactly is the spirit in a bento in the first place? Objection. My Bao-san's trying to deceive the court by using abstract expressions. Objection overruled. This sounds interesting, so listen until he's done. Got them. Now I'll show you two of the difference between us. Your Honor, I'd like to call Miss Rika Furude to the stand as well, as a witness. Meep. Even for Rika-chan, that must have seemed like a bolt from the blue. There's no doubt that she never dreamed the point of my spear would be aiming at her. But Rika-chan, you said it before. For this showdown, it doesn't matter. Rika Furude-san, your bento today was very well made. It looks delicious. Yeah. Meep? Yes. Sadako and Rika-chan's bentos had been made of half of Tomita-kun's and Okamura-kun's. The prosecutor's faces turned pale, but they were too late. Rena, would you bring Okamura-kun's bento over here? Oh, he's gonna call him out on it! Huh? Okay, sure. Your Honor, my bento has no relevance to this case. Oh, it does. Overruled. Your Honor, I submit Okamura-kun's bento box as evidence. Look at it. Look at what's inside. It's only half in there. It's not about whether there's half. Please look a little more closely. See? Ah, exactly the same. Your Honor, you've seen it. Miss Rika Fude's bento is stolen from Okamura's-kun's. There's no way such a thing could have spirit in it. No, but that's just coincidence. Of course it is. It's already obvious. Spirit, it's a game of catch between the giver and the receiver. The bento box, then, is the ball. That bento was something Okamura-kun was given from mother to son. That means Okamura-kun is the only one who can feel a spirit from this bento box. Now that it's been disturbed and been stolen, it no longer has that spirit. Dun dun dun! Yay! That did it. Huh? What? Is that true? Rika-chan, is that true? Meep. Oh, she looked so sad. Nipa. Not so sad. Uh-oh. I see how it is. Mion, the judge, folded her arms and began to hum. I couldn't even take a guess as to what Mion was laughing about. Frankly, I didn't know whether I would win or lose. Keiichi normally loses, so... Okay, before announcing my judgment, I'll start from the top. Shh. The entire classroom quieted. First, from an objective standpoint, there is no doubt that the bento of the accused, Keiichi Maibara, must be seen as poorly made. This is something that the grading results clearly display. Gah! But as Kai-chan said, cooking is not all about taste. The spirit put into it should be considered subtle seasoning. For grading though, that would only amount to a few points. It's so subtle, there's not enough to alter the results. Grr! Grr. Now then, I'd like to mention the original reason for today's Bento Showdown. What was the reason for it? That's right. We started it to see whether the accused, Keiichi Maibara, could cook for himself and to measure the result. Yeah, that's right. Keiichi-kun did make his own bento. Ugh. That stung my conscience a bit, but for the showdown, it didn't matter. So the whole basis behind the showdown was to cook a meal for yourself. In other words, whether or not the meal was homemade. Rika-chan neglected to do that. Is a much bigger problem than how good her bento is. In other words, is she disqualified? Nipa! Rika-chan let out a nipa, looking as though she had prepared herself for this outcome. Don't take it personally, Rika-chan. At our club, things like that don't matter. Keiichi did well, like I thought. You tried your hardest until the very end. Rika-chan demanded I lower my head, then she pet it. She knows. With that over with, this case is closed. Today, last place goes to Rika Fude. Oh! Whoa! That miraculous turnaround. Keiichi didn't lose. And last place went to Rika-chan, the one everyone had least expected. The whole classroom went wild. They loved it. I'm amazed you managed to avoid coming in last place with such a terrible bento. Sadako looked at me hatefully, but spoke in a vague kind of voice. There's no way I'd come last. There's nothing in this bento that would deserve last place. But, it's got ready-made side dishes and canned goods, and has no style, and... Grab. Sadako was speaking more and more poorly of herself as time went on, so I roughly grabbed her head and began to stroke it. I told you, spirit is important. This bento isn't all about appearance, it's got all kinds of flavours in it. But spirit isn't the only thing. It tastes totally weird, and... what about it is weird? I thought it was great. It was absolutely great. That's why I packed it. If dinner last night had been bad, then I would never have brought it to school. I would have come here with some bread and a milk carton. But... Oh, just shut up already. I caressed her head, swinging it from side to side. At some point, Rena had come up behind us. She was giggling to herself. That was the face of someone who had known everything from the beginning. Oh, she knew as well. When did you realise I hadn't made it? When you showed us your burns, I guess. I mean, there's nothing in your bento that needed oil for. Ha, that's a good point. Ugh. Rena-san, don't you think you were misunderstanding something? I didn't do anything. Huh? Sadako-chan, you weren't the one who made this bento? Well, then did Keiichi make it by himself after all? Okay, then I guess he did. Rena smiled roguishly and turned from Sadako to me. When you cut cucumbers, you hold the knife like this and go like this. As for the colours, you can express all sorts of things if you place veg in the right way. This lecture was clearly not meant for me. But you've gotten a lot better since the last time you showed us. I see you've been studying. If you keep this up, I bet you'll be able to make better and better dishes in no time. She continued saying words clearly meant for Sadako while facing me instead. Clever. Sadako was wearing an ambiguous look and couldn't even nod her head at her. Anyway, no matter what anyone says, I like the way my bento is today. I'm not going to share it with anyone else either. I'll eat the whole thing by myself. Greed! How greedy? Exactly! It's like it's reading my mind. Rena wants to try some too. Too! As we were going back and forth, Sadako rubbed her eyes as though she was drowsy, then announced to Mion and everyone else. Excuse me, the truth is, I got Tomita-san to give me some of his bento. Stupid! Hojo, what are you saying? If she kept it a secret, then at least she would have been saved. Tomita-kun looked at her with an expression filled with regret and surprise. Huh? Is that true? Really? Oh my! Mion spun her finger around, then pointed to the hallway, sentencing Sadako to the punishment game as well. Sadako left the classroom behind her, completely prepared as though she was going with Rika-chan on an errand. I can't let Rika go alone. I will accompany her to the very depths of hell. You don't need to go that far. Ah, they're going down together. My word, Keiichi-san really is terrible too. Humiliating only Rika like that, he is truly a rotten person. I didn't mean... I couldn't just return Sadako's kindness with malice. Exactly. Hey, Sadako really is silly. Rika-chan spoke so that only I could hear, grinning happily. Now then, let's be off, Rika. Punishment games are one of our duties as club members. Sadako seemed awfully happy, not frustrated in the slightest, like she always was when she lost. Damn! Rika-chan's right after all. Everyone here is a moron. Mion! I'll come clean too. I didn't make my bento today. I was the same, so I'm going with them for the punishment game. Oh my god, he's still actually lost, even if it was a tie lose. Huh? Even you, Kai-chan? Oh, what's going on? Oh ho ho. Good luck. With the punishment game, I mean. I'll get the first aid kit ready. Got an ambulance in advance, will you? And maybe a hearse just in case. Dead. Leaving a bewildered Mion and a happily smiling Rena behind in the classroom, I went into the hallway. Well, what are you doing? You finally won for once. I had no idea you had such an odd taste for these punishment games that you'd go as far as to volunteer yourself for one. Guess so. It's a little much for a hobby, eh? I swear. I think you're underestimating this one. We're one thing, but grave harm might actually befall you, Keiichi-san. Hope you're ready to have 1 or 2 ribs broken. That sounds like it would hurt. I don't like getting hurt. I buggered my ribs up once when I was little. Fell off a swing. Keiichi-san, you just stand there and nod along, okay? Rika and I will smooth it over. I swear. I can't believe I have to look after you even during a punishment game. Seriously. I already knew that her pouty behaviour was a sign that she was actually in a really good mood. So it made me want to smile. Hey, I do want to eat some veg stir-fry. Sadako, can you make that? What? Well, there's nothing I can't do if I put my mind to it. She can make it very well. I really like Sadako's stir-fry. She was uneasy at first, but once she got assurance from Rika-chan, she turned back and looked at me with once more confident eyes. It's settled then. Let's go shopping for stuff after school today. I don't really have any idea what to buy after all. Yeah. That's true, isn't it? I think it's still too early for you to go shopping at the supermarket, Keiichi-san. It would make me anxious if I wasn't watching. And Sadako makes me anxious that she'll buy the wrong thing if I'm not watching. Rika! Meep! The conversation continued as we walked, until we arrived before the door to the teacher's lounge. Okay, let's see what it's like then. Let's get this punishment game over with, and discuss the menu for tonight. Meep! Rika-chan gleefully grabbed onto my arm. In turn, I pulled Sadako to me, grabbing her shoulder with me, with my other hand. We'll all be together in death. Yay! I won't let anyone die alone. We're all together. I won't let anybody die alone. What an indiscreet thing to say. I want no part of something so disturbing. She may have sounded annoyed, but she was so happy it was going to make me blush. Alright, just beyond this door is the world after death. However, we shall return. All of us will. I need a drink. Yeah. Yes, everyone will. Then let us sally forth. Oh wow, just a staff room. Slam! Open the doorway to the world of death. and like she did every day, just as the sun rose in the eastern sky. Chia-sensei was eating curry for lunch. Yay. It was store-bought, but she made a point of eating a different brand every day. Oh, showing the teacher! It's actually showing her for the first time in... Oh! We haven't seen her before. We've seen her in the anime and she looks a little bit different in the anime. A little bit. Oh my. My Barakun, Fude-san and Huju-san? Is something the matter? She appeared to be in the middle of a moment of supreme bliss, her mouth full of her beloved curry. But yeah, 2 new characters being introduced this time. One's being shown, and I don't think Satoshi gets shown. I can't remember properly. And we were to pick a fight with her. What a crime this punishment game would be. However, it was what we had to do. For that was the rule of our club. The 3 of us held each other's shoulders tightly once more. Alright, let's do this. Ready? Uh-oh. What do you mean, ready? Keiichi-san, you're gonna stay quiet. Rika and I will handle everything. Entrust your life to me for now. Oh god, that's worrying. Go for it, yay! What are you all doing? We could see 2 or 3 question marks popping up above the teacher's head. Pop 'em! Alright, Sadako. This is the only time I'll trust you with my life. Because I'll be shutting my eyes tightly and only thinking about what we'll be having for dinner. I'm leaving it to you. Sadako inhaled deeply. And so... Hey, you over there! You carry... What? Carry Feka? Is that what I'm saying? Oh god, she exploded. That's amazing. That was a good part, I enjoyed that. I don't normally like the club activity parts as much as everything else really. Even though they're okay, it's okay. But I don't like it as much as everything else. But this one's been pretty good because it built up to it in the first chapter. Anyway, that's the end of the first half of chapter 2. So, we're going to leave it there. This has been GreenyXI. Hope you've enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again in a bit when we go for the rest of chapter 2. And who knows what it's going to be from now on. It'll probably show the results of the punishment game. I'm sure it will. Let's pick a third one. In the end. They all died. The end. Thanks for watching, folks. See you again in a bit.